If you've burnt out or invisible despite working hard just like I did for many years, then this story is for you. Yes, I'll be sharing my story today. How I went from a high performing corporate executive to a purpose driven coach. I mean, it wasn't overnight. It took me a long while to recognize what I wanted to do, and I just decided that today I'm going to be sharing things I've learned, how I've grown, and I've decided I'll be going live every for the next 30 days with YouTube, and basically just to share all that I have learned over the years and everything that I know. But first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Ishioma Elora Onah, and please, guys, anybody coming in online, I'd love to meet you. Let me know your name, where you're streaming from, what country you're streaming from. So I'll go right ahead. My name is Dr. Ishioma Elora Onah. I'm a business strategist and I'm a woman on a mission. Yes. So I want to help, or I'd like to help leaders like you, female leaders, to speak up and scale up. Yes, basically that's what I'll be doing. I'll be teaching people. Hi, Rosie. Yes, so basically it's just to help women become better, and of course it's a great opportunity for me because I felt like I started the whole thing wrong. I felt like I should have started sharing my story first, why I decided to come on YouTube, why I decided to go live. But in addition to being a business strategist and a woman on a mission to help other female leaders to scale up and become better every day, I've trained over 40,000 professionals, people in different professions anyway, so I like to call them professionals. And this right here, going live, is about building deeper connections for me. I mean, that's like the major purpose. I just don't want to go live because I want to hear myself speak. I actually want to use it as an opportunity to grow deeper connections with my community, and I love learning a lot. I love growing. So this will be an opportunity for people to also get to know more things about me, right? So I want to take you on a journey on the major reason why I started what I am doing, because it makes more sense because I just came on, started going YouTube live. I really didn't share my story, why I'm actually doing what I'm doing. So I feel like it would be a better way for people to get to know me, people to get to meet me, and understand why a woman who's been in the corporate space for so long, all of a sudden at 43 decides to become a content creator and a YouTuber. And trust me, I may look confident, but I'm not 100% confident. Sometimes I'm scared when I have to come online, like live. It's a whole lot, but I'm trusting and I'm hoping that you will stay with me on this 30-day journey. There's so much I'm going to be sharing. Make able to say that I've learned a lot in life over the past 23 years working in the corporate space, and I'm trusting that there's a lot you learn from me. But the first thing I'll start with is to share my origin story. And I'm sure, as you've noticed, title says the storyteller. And many people have asked me, Dr. Ish, why storytelling? Why did you go into storytelling? What's your purpose? What's your I just made up my mind. I made a decision. I'm going to do 30 days. And not just to share my story, but to share the mistakes I made. I'm going to take them one day at a time. And I hope that you get to learn something from everything I'm going to share. But first, my origin story is to explain to you what my life was like in the corporate world. I started my career as a banker. I've been in the financial institution space for, well, my corporate life 23 years, but I was in the financial institution space for 19 let's say 19 years. And it was really a very toxic space, tough space. And I'm not saying all financial institutions It's my own personal experience. And as a very ambitious woman, I wanted to, and then call operation. Stay with watching this if you're a man, then from my own experience, and what led me to end up becoming an executive coach. And if it resonates, I'd really love to get your comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and tell me where you are streaming from, your name. I'll be very happy to meet. Yes, so my experience or my origin in the corporate world, I started growing just like every other person who. I went through the ranks, I met people, I started learning. I'm a pretty fast learner, but there were so many things that were not just very comfortable for me. I'm not saying that rules are bad, but I found out that I started feeling stifled at a point. I was just working only for the salary. Like I just wanted to earn a salary, and it was really, really depressing for me. I don't know if, as a woman, you've experienced that in the corporate world. If you have a 9 to 5, not necessarily working in a bank, community, whatever job it is you have. I mean, if you've experienced something like that, please let me know in the comment section. It's pretty tough for women sometimes, especially male-dominated industry. And I realized that while there were so many women at the entry level working, it became the ranks after a while for several reasons. Some of us got married. I'm divorced now, so I mean that's another story for another day. Got married, and it was always issues of you had to manage the children, manage your career. It's so much, and it can be mentally draining. And this is one of the reasons why I recently for female mental health. There's a lot of things that women take for granted because people take it for granted because we can multitask. We don't try to find the balance, even if you're not married. I mean, this is not just for only married women. Single women. Hi, Rosie. Can you see me now? I need to be sure. Oh, this network is horrible. Maybe I'll change my location. Is it better now? Is it better now? Oh wow, this is so horrible. Is it better now? Can you see me? Okay. I'm so sorry. I've had to keep changing locations. Oh great. So I was sharing my origin story. I'm so sorry. It's a glitch that I don't know how I'm going to get over it, but I'll need to figure out. Oh great. Yes. Okay, please encourage others to come back online since the network is better now. Yes, thank you. So I was sharing. Oh great, Bimbola, you're welcome. So I was sharing my origin story, and I was explaining how my journey started from becoming a corporate leader to an executive coach. And one of the things I realized in terms of what my why, my journey, my purpose, and what has led me to do what I am now. Remember when I was introducing myself, I said that I had trained over 40,000 people, and going live, I've decided I'm going to be doing this every day for the next 30 days. Now the reason is because when I came on YouTube, I just immediately started doing live and teaching and training, just like as I always love doing. But I realized that I didn't really share a story of who I am, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I must confess, for someone who's been speaking in public for so many years, I'm even scared doing this right now. I mean, live is so much different from speaking to people one-on-one. I still get to speak to people one-on-one physically, but this time around it feels so different, and it kind of makes me feel very vulnerable. But I have no choice but to do this because I mean, I'm a private person. But at this point, I need to also show a side of me to people so that they can understand the real I understand that to get good results, whatever you are, whether you're a leader, you're a creator, female, male, whatever it is, you need to attain a certain level of consistency. So I would be like, it would mean so much to me if you guys can join me on this 30-day challenge I myself on. I really need all the encouragement that I can get. Yes, I may be very good at presentations, teaching people, but YouTube daily life is a whole different game. So, origin story. So while I was in corporate space, I mean, like I said, I'm very ambitious. Plan had always been to end up becoming executive director in a bank. Having worked in 4 different banks and good positions, I left as a branch manager in the last bank I worked in. And I've always been in the financial institution space. I mean, when I started my career, it was first of all in insurance. And I mean, by the way, being a saleswoman, it's so stressful. I can't count how many threats I got on my life. I mean, there was a day I went to sell insurance to a client, and she threatened hot oil on me. I barely escaped with my life. So one would think that I'll never go back to sales. I mean, it put me off sales for years. So when I got back to the bank, I now found myself in customer service, funds transfer, and all that. And then I found myself growing through the ranks, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I don't know if you've experienced things like, I just wasn't fulfilled. I knew there was something missing, but I wasn't sure what it was. Initially, I thought it was, going into a relationship. I thought I was getting married. I got married. I also thought it was having children. I had children, but still, it just looked like there was something missing. My life wasn't complete. I still had sleepless nights. And then it just hit me one day that the thing that was missing in my life was that I didn't have any purpose. There was no purpose. I just knew I was waking up every day, preparing for work, preparing for work, preparing everyone for work. But I had no purpose. I didn't even know. There's a reason why everyone is here. There's something everybody has to fulfill in life. I didn't know what I had to fulfill. I had no definition. There was just something. I was empty. I was empty for so long, and I kept trying to figure out, so what exactly am I supposed to achieve? I'm married now. I've got kids, a well-paying job. I was well paid. So I asked myself, was it more money? Did I need more money? I mean, everybody needs more money. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody needs more money. So is it more money? So I kept moving from one bank to the other, trying to get better pay, get up better positions. But that emptiness was still there. So I said, okay, the banking industry is toxic. I had worked with all sorts of crazy bosses, the narcissists, the toxic ones. I'm not good with office politics. That was another thing I struggled with in my career. I said, okay, let me change industry, and I moved to asset management. For those of you that don't know what asset management is which is one of the reasons why I'm also a very good personal financial coach. We help our clients to invest their money. So we spread your wealth, your portfolio, you diversify your wealth for you across different asset classes. So is either into stock or into landed properties, that's real estate, or into FX, foreign transfer, FX savings accounts and all that. So there are different ways you can invest your money and grow your wealth. Hey, Mama, you're welcome. I didn't know you'd have the time. Welcome, ma. Don't mind me. I'm just sharing my history, my journey. I want to start from scratch before we go into the main thing. So, I mean, it was a very interesting time for me, and this is the reason why I said I needed to share this with you guys. And if there's any aspect of your own journey that looks similar to mine, I'd really love to hear it in the comment section. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes, so, and then I eventually got to what they call the aha moment. That moment when I realized that something was missing in my life, which was my purpose. I had no purpose. I had good jobs. I had children. I was married. Everything just seemed fine on the surface, but I wasn't fine mentally, I was losing it mentally. I started experiencing depression. There was so much going on in my life, and I didn't really know how to get myself out of the mess that I felt I was in. There were a lot of things that were not going on well, and I had to sit myself down and ask myself, what was my purpose? What was my calling? What was I called to do? Who was I called for? And that was how I now started doing really deep soul search. I mean, it didn't start out, it didn't end up well at first, because the next line of action, which was, I think, a pretty wrong one that I did, was I started going into business. I knew that I loved money, I loved independence, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow physically, I wanted to grow mentally, I wanted to grow emotionally, I wanted to grow spiritually. And I felt okay. I didn't have mentors, I didn't have coaches. I'm an only child, so I really didn't have anybody to look up to per se. So I was just like winging it on my own, left, right, and center. And eventually, I found myself going into business while working as a 9-to-5 and a working mom. I went into business, and I started doing all manner of businesses. I went into over 20 businesses. I started selling just about everything. I was trying to improve myself personally. I was registering for courses online. I did so many things, but it just wasn't working. I mean, each business I kept trying, I was still dissatisfied. And then I didn't even have any expertise. I didn't have friends. So I just found myself, I kept struggling and struggling. And as time went on, I found myself, I was already 6th year into my career, 7th year into my career, 10 years into my career, 20 years into my career. And alongside that, I was running. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I felt like that was the answer to my problem. I felt like if I can become my own boss, if I can run my own business without having to answer to anyone and without having to get involved in office politics, I would be fine. And yes, really, I mean, that's like basically what I'm even doing now. But at that time, I was doing too much. I felt I could multitask. I could handle the home, I could handle the kids, I could handle all the numerous businesses, I could handle my 9-to-5, until I started losing it. And then I now started having health issues, because I started having hormonal imbalance. I started experiencing PCOS, if you know what PCOS is. It was just too much for me. Then I had an accident. And that was when everything changed, because I was forced to slow down when I had the accidents. And I had the accident coming back from work. I closed work that day, I think 11 p.m. And a commercial bus, a public bus, hit me and broke my right leg. And I had to go into surgery immediately. I was pregnant at the time, and of course the baby had to be evacuated. So I lost the pregnancy. My leg was broken. My femur, my right femur, which is said to be the strongest bone in the human body, was broken. I had to go into surgery like almost immediately. It was a life or death situation. And you know how it feels like, how they say when people are about to die, and their life flashes through their eyes or their mind in minutes or in seconds. And that was exactly how I felt. My life at that point where I thought I was dying. I had lost so much blood. I thought, this is it. Ishioma, this is it. There's no escaping this. And I saw myself begging God for another chance. I was like, God, please, I need one more chance. Just help me to stay alive. Just help me stay alive to overcome this. And I mean, it was a miraculous time for me. Yes. So enough of the emotions there. And that was the aha moment, and I decided to dig deep into my calling and find out what my calling exactly was. And I decided that I needed to also start helping other women come out of all these mental state issues, depression issues, finding their purpose, finding their passion. Women that are also in the corporate world, because I mean, it's sad, but I had to almost lose my life to get that aha moment. I had to almost lose everything to be able to understand that this exactly was my calling. And I don't know if you've ever gotten to that point where you are confused, you are burnt out, you don't really understand what your purpose is, you find yourself in so many places doing so many things at the same time. Trust me, I have been there. I know what it feels like. It's a crazy place to be in, and if you're not careful, you just sink. Because I've spoken to so many women who have said, Dr. Ish, I wake up every day and I really don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my passion is. I'm not happy in my marriage. I've got kids, but I'm not happy. I've got a well-paying job. I'm still not happy. There's just so much going on for me. Everybody's demanding so much for me. And I get you. I understand you. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I'm even doing what I'm doing. So I saw so many gaps that so many women were struggling with, balancing the home, balancing the job, balancing everything, being there for everybody else but themselves, right? And so many women are struggling in this area. Like, thank God, women are now going into tech, women are now becoming engineers, male-dominated industries, women are now getting in. However, the percentage of women still owning it in these industries is still very small, because so many women are shrinking themselves, so many women are scared, so many women are afraid to come out and own their shit, own their space, own who they are, own their intellect. They're scared, they're afraid. And that's one of the reasons that led me to leave the corporate world to support basically women that are struggling, right? And it also helped me to build a coaching program, which is what I'm currently into, and which is one of the reasons why I said, okay, I've been hiding for so many years. I've positioned on LinkedIn, and I would say that I'm doing pretty well. It really is very depressing. There's so much demand on women. And I'm not saying that there's no demand on men. Please don't get me wrong. There's demand on men too. So much is expected from men. I think that life just got harder for so many people. But the thing is, if you don't have a good support system, you could just get lost, you could drown. So there's so much expectations, and more people are trying to come out of this phase. More and more women are trying to, find who they are, find their space. One of the things I noticed in the corporate world, especially when I was in the bank, was that due to marriage, due to children, due to age, hormones, you know how many hormones women need to deal with every day? I mean, like the menstrual cycle that comes in every month. There's no break. There's no I'm going on vacation from this. We just have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And women, I commend you, and I understand how you feel. So this is the reason why along the line in the corporate ladder, if you don't believe me, please do your research. Find out if you work in a 9 to 5, or any woman that works in a 9 to 5. There's a certain level women get to in their career and they drop. Yes, they drop. The higher the ladder goes, the less women you find. I'm so sorry. The heat is crazy, and if I dare go near the fan, the network is just going to go off. So I have to, I have to stand near the door to do this. But I've committed to myself that I'm going to be doing this live session daily for the next 30 days. And like I said, stay with me. And if you're just meeting me for the first time, if you're just bumping into this session for the first time, my name is Dr. Ish. I am an executive coach, business strategist, saleswoman, and I've trained over 40,000 people, to help them to become better versions of themselves. So please feel free to subscribe, because I'm going to be sharing so much for you, same time every day for the next 30 days. So help me God. Right. So the struggle is real, the hustle is real, and I know that many people come on social media because they need to be able to have an avenue to let their hair down. However, I'll tell you something. Social media also has become not only an avenue for fun, but also an avenue for people to also become financially independent, right? Thank you, Omolola. Welcome. It's so good to see you. The network has been so poor for a very long time, so I've had to be test running the times. And as you can see, I'm standing near my door for this live session to actually happen. And I just said to start with my origin story today. The usual places I sit for the live sessions, the network is really crazy, but I just had to do this today. I just had to get this done. I had to muster courage, and I'm hoping it turns out well. So I was sharing you know, my journey starting being from the corporate world. People ask me, Dr. Ish, you've been in the corporate world for 23 years. How could you leave a lucrative job? You had a personal driver. Everybody's always carrying your handbag when you come down from the car. You know, people are always telling you, yes, ma, yes, ma, yes, ma. People are always, there's so much respect. You were earning in millions. You get to travel a lot. You had over 700 people, 1,000 people reporting to you. Why did you have to leave the corporate space to become a content creator? Why did you have to leave the corporate space to become a YouTuber? Why did you, as an old woman, still to be grandma, why are you doing this? Like, does that make you responsible? What is the meaning of a content creator? What does it mean to be an executive coach? It's just like another lazy term to stay at home. And it was pretty embarrassing at the beginning, but I'm so sorry. I'm sweating like crazy. It was embarrassing at the beginning, and I'm sure so many women face this, and that's why a lot of women are stuck doing what they don't like. But ladies, newsflash, nobody cares. After a while, people will stop talking. So whatever it is you are doing, don't be scared to change if you are uncomfortable. Don't shrink yourself for anyone. Ladies, this is 2025. Get out of your comfort zone and do it differently. They say madness and being crazy, thank you. They say madness and being crazy is when you keep doing the same thing consistently without getting any results. So why would you, as a human being with a medulla oblongata, a brain, consistently sit in a situation that doesn't serve you or is uncomfortable for you? It makes no sense. You know, that was what I was doing. Thank you, darling. You always make me blush. Thank you. So why would you, I mean, from as long as I could remember as a child, first of all, my parents came with, oh, Ishioma, you talk so much, you should be a lawyer. Then it became, oh, you should be a medical doctor. And then when the sciences didn't work, you should be an accountant. And that was just how I just found out that I was living my life to suit everybody's standards. And so many men and women are stuck in this never-ending cycle. And that's why so many people are depressed, so many people are committing suicide, so many people are not happy. People are not happy in relationships, they're not happy in marriage, they're not happy on their jobs. In fact, the worst is the job, because you keep going back there every day, meeting the same set of people that you do not want to see. So, and I'm not saying that the solution is to keep changing jobs. I'm not saying the solution is to automatically become a business owner, entrepreneur. I'm also not saying the solution is to just quit, right? I mean, you need to have something to be able to fend for yourself and your family. But I'm saying that, which is one of the reasons why I ended up getting my aha moment. But my aha moment came when I had an accident, like I said earlier. And that's why I had to create a coaching program to help women to find their purpose, find themselves, understand themselves, without wasting so many years, you know, just like I did. And when I now decided to step into my purpose and enjoy my journey, I started getting, when I started positioning on social media, and I know you're watching me, you definitely know you've got stuff, you know you've got talent, you know you've got the vibe, you know you've got the power within you, but you're scared to come out. You're thinking, what are people going to say about me? What are people going to, they're going to judge me. Trust me, baby girl, they're going to judge you. They're going to judge you with whatever you do. Even Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, was judged till he was killed. They are going to judge you. They're going to judge your decisions. But once you are sure that you are stepping into your power, you are stepping into your purpose, then you really shouldn't care what anybody says. Go ahead and try it. Don't be scared of failure. Even if you fail, you fall. As long as that failure doesn't kill you, you fall, you stand up, and you hit the ground running again. I had to waste almost 23 years of my life to find out what I needed to do because I was scared. I said, oh God, if I leave the bank, people are going to abuse me. People are going to insult me. People are going to call me foolish. They still called me foolish, even after being in it for so many years. It is time for women to step up and take their space. You want to be an engineer? Go ahead and be an engineer. You want to be a pianist? Maybe you're a medical doctor. Go ahead and become a pianist. You want to start writing comic books? Please feel free. You want to you've been maybe a classroom teacher and you want to go to tech? Go ahead and go into tech. Don't be afraid as a woman to take your space, own your space. That is it. I suffered so many years waiting for people to validate me. Ladies, don't be waiting for anyone to validate you. Nobody needs to validate you. All you need is to validate yourself. Find a support system. Find like-minded women and get to learn and grow. So many of you are scared for your voices to be heard because you've been suppressed for so long. I mean, I was burnt out. For like 10 years of my life, I've always been burnt out. I didn't even know burnt out was a word. But I knew I was burnt out for so long. And that's why I had to do so much, to find myself. And when I started stepping into my power, trust me, ladies, when you step into your power, the game will change. When you step into your essence, the game will change. Good things will start gravitating towards you. If you continue living in fear, you will live a very unfulfilled life. And let me tell you something. The worst thing a human being, whether male or female, will experience in life, the worst thing you can ever experience, that emotion I shared with some people yesterday in a live session, the worst thing to experience at the end of your life is what if, regrets. I wish I had done it. I wish I had is the worst feeling ever. It is worse than I tried it and I failed. If you try it and you fail, it means that you shouldn't be there. Then you go ahead and do something else. And like I said, people will always talk. People will always have things to say. And that's the reason why I said, you know what? I'm going to go on a 30-day live challenge. I'm challenging myself, and I need you guys to also encourage me as much as you can in this challenge. I know that I don't look scared, but trust me, I am. I always tell my students that even when you're going to speak on stage, there's this jitters you feel in your butterfly when you're going to stand on stage, and everybody experiences it. I mean, I've had this YouTube account for this month made it almost for 5 years, and I've never really used it to do anything credible apart from watching movies. So basically, just before we round up, just in case you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Dr. Ish. I'm an executive coach, a business strategist, and I have trained so many people on how to start and run their own businesses. I'm also what they call a female empowerment coach as well. I'm going to be sharing so much about myself in the coming days. Right. So I respond to comments. So any comments, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching the live session, please just tell me where you're watching from, and I will definitely reach out back to you. So the truth of the matter is that why am I going live daily? I know so many people are going to be wondering, oh, she's been talking all day and she's not even really said much. So the reason why I am going live daily is because I want to own my own space finally. I mean, at 43, deciding to come out, I was scared initially. I was like, it's only Gen Zs that are on YouTube. I mean, there's so many young people. But when I came on YouTube, I found people in their 60s, in their 70s, owning their own YouTube channels, doing well, owning their space, doing their stuff. And I said, you know what? I want to own my own space too. Right now, I want to also own my space. And of course, I know it will help my visibility. It will enable me to reach out to more women who need help. So please, good evening, Coach K. So if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, whatever part of the world you're watching from, if you need someone to talk to, if you need help with your career, if you need help with your personal development, if you need help with visibility, because that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm also trying to push my visibility. I'm open to learning. I'm open to growing. And if you're also looking to find a way to learn, find a way to grow, and you need a support system, please feel to reach out to me. I always respond to comments. I'm very, very receptive to meeting people, right? And I'll tell you one thing, your time is now. No matter what phase you are in, no matter what era you are in, your time is now. If I can do it at 43 years old, if you're younger than me and you're watching from for whatever part of the world, then what is your excuse? And yes, I used to be ashamed of telling people I am divorced. I decided I'm not going to be ashamed of saying it anymore. Why am I ashamed of saying it? Really? And that's the question. And like I said, no matter how many times you failed, I've failed in so many things. I've made so many mistakes. I've made so many bad decisions. I mean, even being in the corporate space alone, I know the hellfire I went through trying to climb through the ladder. And these things I experienced, I thought were singular to only me. I was so scared. I said, hey, how, like, when people ask me, what's your marital status? I'll just be silent about it. I try not to even say anything to that. But I found out that so many women are also struggling. I was stifled for so long. I couldn't raise my voice. I couldn't talk. I was always scared. If opportunities came for promotions or better jobs or positions, I would be scared to raise my hand. I would say, even if I try, I will fail. They won't even take me. Yes, regretting is the worst feeling. So now I committed to myself, and this is one of the reasons why I decided, you know what, enough of procrastinating, enough of sitting as a backbencher, enough of watching people do things that I know I can do and maybe even do better. And if you're a woman, you're watching this, I want to encourage you today. And this is the reason why I keep saying I had to decide to take this space to speak to you women, to encourage you. Please stop shrinking yourself. Regret is the worst thing you can ever have. Don't be scared. You have not married. Well, you are not the first person to not be married at your age. You are married and you are not happy. You're not the first person. Don't be afraid. You are divorced. So what? It doesn't stop you from achieving your life's dreams. You feel you are ugly? No, you're not ugly. You're not ugly. Everybody, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Everybody has something beautiful about them. Women are so scared of being called ugly. They're scared of being fat. Women, mind you, women get body shamed a lot. I see so many weight loss channels, and it's glaring that a lot of people are so sad about how they look. Right? So as a woman, don't be scared to own your space. Don't be scared to be who you want to be. And it's not late for you. Whatever it is you want to go into. If I decide for any reason I want to go into tech tomorrow, ladies, I'm going into tech. If I decide I want to be a medical doctor, if I have to go into it, if I have to study for 10 years and I'm almost 60 years old before I become a medical doctor, I'm going to go get it. And I'm encouraging you, whatever space you are in now, you are not a failure. You will make it. All you need to do is to find the right kind of people to surround you. And that's why I said, okay, this whole YouTube thing, I'm taking it from a whole different direction. I want to inspire you. I want to motivate you. I want to tell you that you are not useless. I want to tell you that you are useful. You can grow from the point where you are to something greater that people who doubted you would not even think possible. Right? But let me also use the opportunity quickly to ask a few questions, and please, I'll be grateful if you just drop the answers for me in the chat session. Just tell me where you are watching from. I mean, if it's a live session or the recorded session, just tell me where you're watching from. Right? And then I want to ask, like Coach K, Rosie, tell me, have you ever felt you outgrow a job or is anything, but you didn't know what next? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're burnt out or you're confused and you're not sure of which direction to go? I'd like to hear from you. I mean, so it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself only. Have you ever been in that situation as a woman where you are confused or you're afraid to come out? Like, or maybe I should simplify it. What's your biggest fear in terms of leadership or visibility? What's your biggest fear? Right? I mean, any of the questions that's comfortable for you to answer, I will definitely share my own nuggets or my own experience of how I came out of that situation. And then, like I mentioned, I'm also positioned on LinkedIn as well. And if at any time you'd like to have a live, if you want me to check your life, I mean, if you're just meeting me for the first time, if you're not my old student, if you want me to have a live LinkedIn profile review one of these days, please drop in the chat session as well, and I can help you. So I mean, I've been seeing a lot of this is so interesting, inspiring, and fire and all that, and I know these definitely are my people. And I also know that there are some people that, oh, Omolola, you stay in Ogun State. I don't know why I thought you were in Lagos. So really, wow, okay, that's good. Pleased to meet you once again. I hope one day we'll be able to see physically. So I'd like to ask you, so if this, my story, this is like one of the rare times I've had the opportunity to share my story. Yes, we can become anything we want as long as we have the desire and we are ready to take the necessary steps to achieve it. Thank you, Abimbola. I really love that. I really love that. So before we wrap up this session, if this story touched you, if you feel you learned something from what I shared today, and like I said, I'm going on a 30-day YouTube live challenge, same time every day, God willing, so help me God. I don't want you to miss tomorrow's session. Please do whatever you can to make sure you don't miss tomorrow's session. Okay, Bimbola, Ogun State, are you serious? And I was there last week and upper week. Wow, I mean, I'll try and meet up with you one of these days, and Omolola as well. I'll definitely hit you guys up and tell you how we can meet up. Okay, so we're diving into the 5 biggest mistakes I made in business tomorrow and how you can avoid them. Like I said, these 30 days, oh yeah, you have short burnouts before, even as a young person, and it costs a lot of family. Yeah, family, that's another problem. So the burnout, especially if you're married and you've got kids and you're running a 9 to 5. I have friends that are married, they have kids. Well, some are single moms, have kids. They're running 9 to 5s at the same time, also running remote jobs. It is a whole lot. And ladies, see, even if yes, we know we are super at multitasking, you need to know how to find a balance, because burnout is real. When you're burning out, you can't grow. There's so much you won't be able to do. So, but yes, like I said, if you're just joining, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Even after the live session, I am very active on social media. I'm very active on YouTube. I'm committed to making this work for the next 30 days. So I'd like you to please be available tomorrow for the next topic we're going to have tomorrow, which is the 5 biggest mistakes I made in business and how you can avoid them. And if you remember earlier, I said I started over 20 businesses, I think about 25. And I failed in I think at least 20 of them. I failed 20 businesses. And there's so much I learned in that failure. And that's why I said that this whole YouTube thing, I want to start from the scratch. First of all, by sharing my origin story, which I have done today, on why I moved from being in the corporate space to become an executive coach. And I hope you learned a lot from today. And if you're just meeting me for the first time, live or not live, please like, subscribe. There's so much I have learned in 23 years in the corporate space, and as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, as an executive coach. There's so much to learn. Tomorrow's topic is going to be the 5 biggest mistakes I made in business and how to avoid them. And I'm sure even if you are not in business, you may someday aspire to be in business. So I want you to learn from me, from my mistakes, because I think it's cheaper and less emotionally draining and physically draining and mentally draining to learn from other people's mistakes. It's just like somebody telling you, oh, fire can kill you. Yeah, it's better to learn from other people, experiencing that. It wouldn't be nice for you to say, I'm not sure how fire feels like. Maybe I should put my hand inside the fire and see what it feels like. Okay, so tomorrow's topic is going to be something really close to my heart. I mean, it's going to really be vulnerable for me. The next 30 days is going to be vulnerable for me, but I want you to make sure you meet up. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like, and guys, please, oh, if you've not liked, please help my career. Like this, comments, and there's so much. And I want you to, I have experienced the down moments that I felt like throwing in the towel, my dear. Let me even give you one gist. In 2020, I bought Sniper. If you know what Sniper is, it's a drug to kill rats. It's really embarrassing saying this, but I think somebody needs to hear this. I bought Sniper. Now imagine someone earning millions in naira, having an official car, and so much. I was going through a very rough time, and I wasn't coping mentally again. I didn't even know, these terms like depression, burnout, I didn't even know what they meant. So I bought Sniper, rat poison. And I said, okay, you know what? Today is that day where I'm just going to end it all. Like, I'm done, I'm tired. I have children, and I'm sorry to say, at that time, maybe that was a very selfish thought of me. I was just finding the easy way out. I said, okay, you know what? Maybe if I kill myself, if I just end it all, it will be easier for me, And I mean, it was just God that got me out of that situation. And kudos to my first child, my daughter, who stood by me and was like, Mommy, don't worry. I mean, how old was she then? Maybe 10, and she's such a wonderful child. And ladies, please don't ever abandon your children. It's something that I would never advise. I mean, even if you are growing in your career, you may need to dedicate some time to care for them, but make sure you don't lose touch with them, So throwing in the towel is never the option. Trust me, throwing in the towel is never the option. There is always a solution. I tell people there's always a solution to every problem, and that's why I'm here. That's why I decided, you know what, this YouTube, I'm going to do it differently. I'm not just going to go only theory. We're going to add some life to it. We're going to add some practicality to it. We're going to add some real life reality to this. Even if it's only one person that gets the point, even if it's only one person's life I can save, I'm just going to do the best that I can do. And I want to encourage you, please, if you're on this live session, please share this live with someone who is building, who is healing, and who is leading, right? Please, ladies, if you're here and you feel like this really resonated with you, I want you to share this live with somebody who is building and who is healing. Any woman you know who is struggling in her career, in her life, spiritually, mentally, in the business, on the job, because there's so much that we're going to share in the next 30 days live. I'm going to put in my all. I'm going to dedicate everything. I'm going to come out raw. I'm not going to hide anything. I think I'm done hiding this time around. So I want to uplift women. I want to inspire women. I want to show women that I'm not perfect. I went through a lot to get to where I am, but I know that with good support, with good counsel, with good advice, you can make it too. So please, I'm encouraging you to share, right? Even if the live is over, please share. Yes, so relatable. Oh, really? Oh, thank God for grace. Trust me, God is like the healing process doesn't come 100%. Healing takes time, and we all heal differently. Some people in 5 years they heal, some people in 3 months they are healed, but it was just a lot for me, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm going to become an executive coach. Yes, I love being paid millions. I love being called madam. I love that title. But I think that women need to hear some truths now. I think women need to understand how to get out of that shrinking mentality, that hiding mentality. And that's why I want to encourage you, please subscribe, like. I need you to help me push this thing out by sharing this live session. Even if the live session is over, I need you to share it so that other people, other women, and even men too, can learn from my mistakes and become better. Trust me, a lot of people are struggling in life. A lot of people are not finding this easy. And I'd love you to also let me know what part of my journey resonated with you. It looks like I've been talking for forever, but I'd love to know what part of my journey resonated with you. And like I said, I always respond to comments, right? I remain Dr. Ish, executive coach, business strategist, empowerment coach. I love to empower people. I love to inspire people. I love to encourage people. I know that I have so much expertise in sales, in business strategy, in helping people to build their businesses. So the live will be happening, well, ideally it should be happening 6 p.m. every day, but I'm thinking I'm going to be doing 5:30 p.m. WAT, West African time, daily for the next 30 days. But say between 5:30 to 6 p.m. You know how our Nigerian network can fluctuate, and because I prefer to use daylight to do this. Before now it used to be 8 p.m., but I realized that the electricity, the lack of power. So I think the daylight works well for me. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, please share, and let more women join us on this 30-day movement. Please, if you know women there that are struggling, that need to get out of their shrinking situation, they're going through depression, they don't know how to start their own business, please share, and let's make magic happen and transform lives in the next 30 days. Thank you very much for staying with me this far, and I hope to see you tomorrow. God bless you and have an amazing day. Bye.